What you've got to remember, though, is once you have a final salary pension, once you start to take money from that pension, so once you start drawing money, that is it. You can never transfer it. So once you draw down, you are locked in. That is it.
This is BayRadio.
Christina Brady is back from Blacktower Financial Management. Just sorting out all last minute. It never stops, does it?
No.
Continuing working on your phone there. And, of course, we see you pretty much fresh from a seminar yesterday. You were at the Javier one.
Yes, we
the
were. There
Expat
was
Info.
an Expat Info seminar, and I gave a little talk on finance and how leaving the EU would affect expats in Spain. Because there's many things that you need to consider. If you look at the government website, they've got a traffic light system, and it says red for check, orange for change, and green for go. Mm-hmm. So for check, really, the main thing is your residency. Be ready. If you're new to Spain, get your TIE, which is the new residency card. If you have an old residency card, either an A4 or a small green one, there is no pressure to get that changed this year. There's some false rumours on different sites that say you have to change them this year. You do not. I checked with the experts yesterday. The main rush is for people who've just got here to apply before December, because after then the criteria will change and we're not sure what it's going to be. If there's a no-deal Brexit, or the Brexit doesn't include financial products, there could be all finance, there could be all different criteria you have to meet. At the moment it's set down. If they change it to be something like South Africa, you have to have a lot more money, you have to have a lot more income coming in. So for people who want to be here, get an appointment by the 31st of December, or get your paperwork in. Appointments are very hard to come by. In the Valencia region, Alicante, you can only do it at Alicante, where we are, the Alicante police station. You can't do it at your local. So you have to go to Alicante, and there aren't many appointments, but as long as you've got your paperwork in and they've acknowledged they have your paperwork by the end of the year, then you're fine. It's best to go through an expert. I know it's going to cost you maybe €90, but they will get all the paperwork done correctly. They will tick the correct box on the forms, which means you get the correct TIE. Some people have been getting the wrong TIEs.
Oh.
There's two you can get. There's one that says you're a permanent resident, and one that says you're a non-permanent, and then there's another one which says you are married to an EU citizen. You're a spouse.
Okay.
And some people have been getting that one mistakenly. So you need to check. If you get someone to do it for you, they will get all the paperwork in order. They will check the correct ticks are done on the forms. You have to go twice. You have to go once to give your fingerprint, and when you go and collect it and you have to give in a picture, they check your fingerprint again to make sure it's you. So if you're new here and you want to remain here more than 90 days in 180, because after next year, if you're a non-resident, you can only remain here 90 days in any 180-day period. If you're residents, you can still do 183 in 365 before you become tax resident. So it's really important that if you want to stay here, you get that done. And as I said, you may not get an appointment, but as long as you've got your paperwork in and it's acknowledged, you'll be okay.
Am I right in saying, sorry, with the TIE card, if you just want one anyway and you've already got your residency, you don't join that same queue as people applying for the first time. It's a lot quicker, the process.
It should be a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's not the same, same thing,
but
sort of appointment.
Yeah, but there's still not many appointments for anything at the moment. So,
right.
But there's no rush to change your green ones. Some people have been scared by different bits they've read saying you have to do it this year. You do not have to do it this year. There's no time frame. But it's best to get it done within the next year or so, because they're going to bring in another requirement. I think it's in 2022, which is something completely different. So if you've got your TIE, you don't have to comply with that. Taxation, obviously be as tax efficient as possible. Healthcare, be prepared. Make sure you've got your S1. If you're entitled to it, you've got private healthcare, or you can pay into the social security system by something conventional. I can never say it, but anyway, you pay so much each month. It's about €70. It does go up if you're older, and that entitles you to the NHS here, the state healthcare. It just doesn't pay for your prescriptions, but it is another option. If you've got pre-existing conditions, you can't get private healthcare. It is something to consider. Also, I know you had Kevin on, but foreign exchange, you've got to be aware it's liable to be volatile. If there's a no deal, sterling's liable to fall. I think at the moment it's about 110 still.
Yeah, it's where it's been for the last few days at 110.20.
Yeah, it's not really moving.
Much.
It's flatlining, as I said to Moody when I came in. It's actually dead at the moment.
It's waiting for news.
It is.
And I think it may be Brexit-related news it's waiting for as well.
You've got the news that's meant to come out on the 15th or 16th of October. So we'll have to wait for that. And also key events with your finances. You've got to check your pensions are okay, your investments and savings are okay, inheritance tax, you're as tax efficient as possible, and banking. You need to review everything to make sure that you're EU compliant. Now, first of all, we'll touch on banking because there's been so much about bank accounts being in the UK being closed. I have checked, and at the moment it's only Barclaycard Visa where they are closing all accounts for people in the EU. You should have received a letter. They're going to close it on the 16th of November unless you have a UK residential address. You do not have to be a UK resident. You have to have a UK residential address, and then they will keep it open. Regarding bank accounts, the only bank that's confirmed that it's closing bank accounts in Spain so far is Coutts. And that's not just Spain, they're closing the whole of Europe. They are part of RBS, which also owns NatWest, but both of them have said no comment at the moment. So has HSBC and so has Barclays on the normal accounts. I think what they're most probably doing is a review of where they hold accounts in Europe, how many they hold, how profitable they are, and then if there is a no deal or a deal that doesn't include financial products, is it worth for them negotiating a deal with the country in question? So I think that's what they're all working on. This is only UK mainland accounts. If you have an offshore account, Jersey, Guernsey, Isle of Man, they are not affected. Okay, so they will carry on being open. So just remember that. So I had a lady in the other day who was in her late 80s who was really, really panicking. And I said to her, worst comes to worst, if they close your account, you should be able to open one in the Isle of Man. It's not ideal because Spain sees that as a tax haven, but it is a UK bank account. And if you hold premium bonds or if you hold NS&I investment bonds, one of the things is if you hold them, you must have a UK bank account or if you want to open them. So that's why it's quite important to have a UK bank account. Plus, some pensions want to pay into a UK bank account. So there are ways around it. So please don't panic and don't be scared into doing anything hastily. As I said, at the moment, it's just Barclaycard that has sent out the letters. But if you have a UK residential address, advise them of it and they will not close your account.
Okay. And this was the first of these for this week. You were in Javier at the Parador. They continue through the week, but well attended, and
yes,
it went really well.
It was. We had social distancing. Everything was, masks, sanitisers. It went very, very well. A very, very good turnout. Today, there's 9:30, which has already started out here at the Villa Gadia, and then at 12 o'clock. And then tomorrow it's in Casada.
Correct.
And that is again at 9:30 and 12, and then the one after that is in the Oruela Costa. And that is at
Hotel,
at 9:30 and at 12. So if you want to go, you should go on to expat info. Is it .es?
Yes,
and register. But if not, you can try and turn up on the day. If there is space, they will let you in. But if you're registered, you will definitely get a seat because obviously with social distancing, usually you can have maybe 60, 70, 80, up to 100 in some places. Of course, that's now cut in half. But it is very, very interesting. You've got citizens' advice. You've got advisors from Blacktower on savings and investments. You've got a lawyer there who tells you about your residencia. And if you wanted, there's people to talk about funerals and foreign exchange. So it's quite all-encompassing, and it is very, very good. And they don't go on too long. There's a questions session at the end, so you can ask as many questions as you want. And obviously you can meet with people afterwards.
From what you could tell, do most people sort of know what they need to do now? Or one or two sort of thinking... or asking you basic questions that they haven't sorted stuff out yet?
Most people are quite good, but regarding the TIE, there has been so much confusion. It was very nice to get that all clarified. And again, regarding how much time you could remain in Spain if you're a resident and non-resident and before you become tax resident. Again, most people didn't know about changes that could affect their pensions or investments, which we can talk about in a minute. So there was lots of people learned a lot. I got quite a few emails saying thank you. It's very informative, and that's always a very, very good feedback.
Mm-hmm. Just a quick look at the markets then, because we'd normally start with that. So we headed back up a little bit. There must have been some big falls at some point.
Well,
we climbed back up towards ish the 6,000 mark.
We're at 5.9. We're down now.
It was below that at some point, though, wasn't it?
So we're nearly down 1%. Although the IBEX is up just slightly. Everything's not going very far. I think obviously when Donald got taken into hospital, the markets did react. Now, no, he's out.
Looks like they were back up a bit yesterday.
Yeah, but now they're all flatlining at the moment. Okay. I think we're waiting for news on Brexit, which is meant to, with the Brexit, you've got the key dates of the 15th and 16th of October, when the EU and the UK are meant to come to some sort of agreement. I must admit, Boris did say he may have an extra month, but we don't know. And then, of course, 31st of December, midnight Central European time, transition period ends, full Brexit begins, and the UK is no longer bound by EU rules. So they've got the markets with that. You've got the US elections. You've still got COVID. Figures, Excel spreadsheets go wrong. Figures go up and down like a yo-yo. So there's lots of things, but the markets are now just sort of bumbling along, waiting, I think, for what happens with Brexit and seeing how the US politicians all recover from the COVID outbreak they're suffering from at the moment. Yeah,
they found a super spreader at the White House in the Rose Garden there.
We'll have to wait and see on that one.
By the way, I just got I had a Gordon in Cattrall listening on the Costa Blanca. Had a good experience doing the TIE thing. Well, went very smoothly. Yeah, I've heard 50-50. Some people have trouble getting the appointments. He did say it does take forever to get an appointment.
Yeah, it was just the appointment. Once you get there, it's very, very efficient. It really is. If you've got everything in order, it is very, very efficient. It's just getting the initial appointments.
Yeah, he said they do speak good English as well. So if you struggle with that, you'll be all set. Thank you for that. It's good to know you're all gone through. All right, now then, here's my bit of prep for the show today.
I was surprised by this.
It's because I heard it in our main news this morning. But so today's the day. The first increase in the pension age, the retirement age for UK state pensions, yeah. So that's 66. Is that male and female? I
would assume so. I know it's going for people.
Well, certainly for men.
For people who are in their mid-50s, it's now 66.5 because by the time you get to be the age you get, so it's going up all the time. It's going to go up to 67. And there is talk of it even going up to 70. But at the moment it's 66, and it has to be equal across both sexes.
Right, okay, so that would make, that would make sense.
So that's that. But talking on pensions, there's one good thing. In the withdrawal agreement, the UK is committed to continue the yearly cost of living rises for state pensions for retired UK expats in Europe, in Spain. Obviously, what happens in the UK, if they ever get rid of the triple lock, it will affect people here. But at the moment, it's the same as the UK. So that's very, very good. Post-Brexit, we're a bit worried that the UK could widen the taxation net and change taxes on pensions or pension transfers and make it very hard to transfer final salary pensions abroad. Or they may decide to get rid of the 25% tax-free you can take from your pensions in the UK. That's been an idea that's been passed around. But what you have to remember as well, final salary pensions, at the moment we're seeing a lot of people coming in, they're getting very high transfer values. So they're expecting, say, to see something of 150, and some of them are getting 200 or 250, which is a lot more. And for some of them, they'd have to live to 106 or 110 to use up their pension pot. And in some of those cases, it is worth transferring them. The costs are high. You have to get a UK independent report, which comes off your transfer value when you transfer, but it can be about 2,000 or more, and you've got to add VAT on top. But for some people, it's worth doing it. What you've got to remember, though, is once you have a final salary pension, once you start to take money from that pension, so once you start drawing money, that is it. You can never transfer it. You can never take take all your money out as cash. What you've done is you've sort of crystallised it. So you're now stuck at that. Even if they transfer, because some companies are doing is they're selling their pension book to get it off their balance sheet, and they're selling it to insurance companies like Aviva, and Aviva's taking it on. Just because it's been sold to an insurance company does not change any of the terms and conditions of your pension. It does not become flexible drawdown. It does not become a pension where you can take all your money out. It stays exactly as the terms and conditions of a final salary pension. So once you draw down, you are locked in. That is is it. That is what you're going to get from life. So you're going to get your pension with your cost of living rise. If anything happens to you, your spouse gets 50%. If you both die, that pension dies with you. Okay, so just remember that once you start taking from your final salary pension, that is it. It's not the same for private pensions, and it's not the same for defined contribution pensions, which is where you pay money in, to your pension. That's different. You can get flexible drawdown, you can transfer them, you can take cash, but this is company pensions, final salary ones, where they are in charge of that pension pot. So please remember that, because that is key.
Yeah, just while we're on the UK state pension, a reminder about this where you can check up. Because I know there's a lot of people, the way this came up, you're surprising folk with this, think, I've completely forgotten about that. Or if they've been in Spain for a while. Have you still got the link?
Because I haven't got it on
Well, it's on the gov.uk website. It's check-state-pension. But if you search for gov.uk, check state pension.
It's worthwhile. You have to, you just put in your date of birth. If you want to go further and you want to find out when you're going to get your pension, how much it is, you need your national insurance number. Most people have that. If not, you can go again to the UK government website. It tells you how to get your national insurance number. It does take a little while. I've had someone who's trying to do it. They've been waiting now about 4 or 5 weeks. But it's worthwhile getting to see if you are entitled to anything. For some people, it can be a nice surprise.
Yeah, I mean, they may have broken off from paying in, so they think, there's nothing there. But if you've contributed up to the time you left, then
you may have something. Yeah. I had someone who came in the other day, and his pension was going to be... He'd contributed into a pension. He was going to get £68 a year, but he'd only been
right. Man, yeah.
But as I said, it's a meal out.
I'll take it.
So take it. No, it is worthwhile to find out what you're going to get. And for some people, if you're near retirement age and you're not getting the full pension, it will give you a calculation to top it up to the full pension. And sometimes it's worthwhile doing it. If you do your calculation and it works, it's beneficial, do it. There's no reason not to. That money's guaranteed by the government. Once you start taking it, they can't stop it unless the government goes bust. Obviously, they can stop the cost of living rises if they change how that's calculated. So it is worth looking as well, if you're near retirement, how you can top it up. If you've only missed a few years or maybe 5 years, it may be worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, the end figure is going to be the same, isn't it? It's 9110 or something.
It depends if you've done full contributions.
But it'll show you where you're at the moment.
It will show you,
but if you keep paying in, then it gets to that final amount. And it will tell you
where you're going to get to.
Yeah.
So it's worthwhile doing.
It's good fun as well. It's you sort of think it's a bit of a mystery that sometimes. You think, it'll deal with that when it could come to it. But
also, it's nice to know that when you get to, say, 67 or whenever, you've got that money coming in.
Yeah.
It's nearly £1,000 a month. And that in Spain, that goes a long way. So please don't forget about your state pension. Hopefully this will trigger it with most people. It is a good thing to have.
Yeah, it is gov.uk/check-state-pension.
Or just put in, government pensions. But make sure you go on to the government website. And it's not one of these that says we'll check for you and we'll charge you. Yeah. So it's all for free. If you're asked to pay any money for any of this, it's a scam. Don't do it. It's all for free on government websites. So please don't be, fooled into paying money when you don't need to for someone to do it for you. It's very, very simple. It really is. If Moody can do it and I can do it, it's very simple.
Yeah, and the most sobering bit is it tells you the exact date when it's due, and I think, that doesn't seem that long away for me.
2028?
It's a bit later than that, thank you.
2048?
Something like that.
No.
Hey, you're not far off. But that was worth mentioning again because it's still one or two people that it's surprising them pleasantly, of course.
Yeah, and also we're talking about pensions. We've got QROPS, which is Qualified Recognised Overseas Pension Schemes, and we've got SIPS, which is a Self-Invested Personal Pension Scheme. After Brexit, if there is no deal, or the deal doesn't include financial products, it could have an impact on people who've taken out QROPS after March 2017 when the rules changed slightly and they brought in an overseas transfer charge. And what it will mean is if you do decide to move back to the UK within 5 years of when you've issued your QROPS, you could be subject to this OTC charge, which is 25% of the value. There is an easy way to get round of it. You can transfer from your QROPS into a SIP. A SIP is UK jurisdiction. It doesn't have the same OTC on it. And if you have set this up for a financial advisor and they've set you up with a QROPS, you're now going back to the UK, they should be able to switch you from your QROPS to your SIPs free or for a very minimal charge. Now, if you go to a financial advisor and they are charging you 3%, 4%, 5% to do this, please say no and walk away and find someone who can do it for you cheaper. They've made money doing your original QROPS, and now, because of your change in circumstances, or maybe you've just decided you want to go back, you've had to change it. For most people, you can get it done for free, or as I said, a very small charge. But if you want to do it, you should really do it before the 31st of December this year. Because if you do it after that, we don't know what the rules are going to be. At the moment, it looks like we're going towards a no deal. We may have a deal, but who's going to say that's going to include financial services? At the moment, that hasn't been discussed. So please be wary of that. SIPs at the moment are the best seller. The only difference with a SIP is you remain under a UK jurisdiction, so you're subject to UK tax law unless you get an NT tax code, which then means you get your money gross and you declare your income in Spain. It's quite easy to get. You go on the government website and you apply for an NT tax code. QROPs are still governed by UK pension rules because the HMRC has to agree that they are QROPs. They have to meet certain criteria. But as I said, a SIP is under the UK jurisdiction, so it doesn't matter if it won't affect you if you leave from Spain and go back to the UK. So that's something to bear in mind. Also, investments. If you have a Spanish compliant bond, if there is a no-deal Brexit or there is a failure to negotiate a financial services part of it, what it will mean is that certain funds within your portfolio, if they begin, they've all got a code, it's called an ISIN code. If they begin with the prefix GB, what will mean is if they are UK domiciled and we don't have a deal, then they will lose their tax efficient status. So what it could mean is that the Spanish will say you have to declare your gains every year on those funds and pay tax. There is a way around it. Most UK domicile funds have set up the identical fund either in Ireland or Luxembourg, so you could switch between the two. So you can make your portfolio as efficient as possible. And there are some providers that are actually giving out information now saying any new deals, we will not accept UK domicile funds until we know what's happening. It's only a few months, but just beware, you could get that. Also, UK advisors. Numerous people coming to see us at the moment. UK advisors, sorry, Brexit, we will no longer be able to passport into Europe because there hasn't been a financial services agreement. Therefore, we can no longer service your financial affairs. You have to find a financial advisor in the country you live in. One lady, her company could, but they said they didn't understand the tax laws in Spain. Therefore, it was advisable to get a Spanish advisor. So there's two scenarios there. They may lose their passporting rights, which means their professional indemnity insurance doesn't cover them. So you need to find an advisor here. That's all well and good. But if you've had an investment for the long time in the UK, you could have made a substantial gain. If you have to close that down to reopen one, you've then got a tax charge, capital gains, and that can be quite high. And if you're resident in Spain, the Spanish will expect you to pay that because you'll have declared it on your Modelo 720. And regarding the Modelo 720, you do it once. You don't have to do it again unless something's gone up by 20,000 euros or you close something down. So if you've closed down your UK investment, they'll know and they'll ask if there's a gain on that. So just be very, very careful. Don't rush into anything. Take good advice and make sure that if you have got a tax charge, it can be compensated either through an enhanced allocation on your new investment or a reduction in fees. But make sure everything is covered before you do anything.
Christina's in from Blacktower Financial Management. Just wrapping up here, but a reminder, important news we're waiting for. It'll be this month, in a couple of weeks' time. What's that, the 15th, did you say?
Yeah, it's a week.
Yes, it is just about. Yeah, just over a week, yeah.
Just a week when the EU and Britain are meant to come to some agreement. They may extend it for another month. We'll have to wait and see. But it's all got to be done and dusted by the 31st of December. And we've been talking about stuff that could be impacted. Also, you need to look at inheritance tax. Make sure you're as efficient as possible as you can be, not only in Spain, but also in the UK. Because even though you are a Spanish tax resident, you're also, if you're UK domiciled, liable for UK inheritance tax. So you need to make sure you're efficient from both. And we can help you there as well. Blacktower, we can help you with wealth management, we can help you with pensions, we can help you with investments, tax planning solutions. We are here to help and guide you. And if you think the 31st of December is going to come very, very quickly, it's just over 2 months away.
Yeah. It was I think it was last time you were in, you revealed that financial products and things, it's not been sorted. Not
under the withdrawal agreement. So there is a lot of grey area. It's best to be on the right side of that grey, if there is such a thing. Be whiter rather than black. So that if anything does go, in a way we don't expect, you're covered. But we can help you with that. Obviously, there are certain unknowns. But if you need anything, remember, it is going to come across very quickly. We've got Christmas coming up. So if you need any advice, just get in touch. And the best way is to email BayRadio, all one word, at Blacktower FM financialmanagement.com, or you can do info@blacktowerfm.com. If you do either, can you put for the attention of Christina, because sometimes they can take a little extra time to be relayed, not from BayRadio, the BayRadio one, but the info one. You can also go to our website, which is blacktowerfm.com, look under Spain, look under Costa Blanca, you'll find me there. As I said, it's not just the Costa Blanca, we cover the whole of Spain, whole of Europe, so if you've got any questions from France, from the Canary Islands, from anywhere in Spain, Italy, Greece, anywhere, please just email them through and we'll get them to the right person who can answer you. Again, if you send any emails through a website, please put for the attention of Christina, otherwise it takes them a while to find out where they need to go. You can always call the office, which is 965 058212, or failing on that, just email or call BayRadio. If you email, it is BayRadio. Oh, I forgot what it is.
Go on, after all this time. I'm going to leave you to it.
No. BayRadio, studio at bayradio.fm. Yeah, I've got
That'll
it.
do,
It was one of those menopause moments when you get this fog on your mind.
You see, you can use that, and I can't say anything. I can't come back
No,
at you.
you can't, because otherwise you'd be
I'll
called
just challenge
sexist
it,
or something, so you can't challenge that.
But, if you remember the BayRadio at blacktowerfm.com, that's the useful one. They can see it's come from. That is the useful
one, and then we know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
We try and get back to you within 24 hours. It depends if it's over the weekend, it might take a bit longer. But we will come back to you. If you don't hear from us, it most probably means that your inquiry has gone astray. So please either call or email again, because we never ignore anyone.
Mm-hmm. And of course, as much as you can be, Brexit proof at Blacktower as far as regulation and everything goes.
I hate to say this, it's corny, but the clock is ticking. Mm-hmm. And you know how time runs away with you, and before it's here, it's on us. It's like Christmas. You think you've got ages and it's suddenly here. 31st is going to come around very, very quickly. So you have got time now to sort out your affairs and make sure that you are in the best position you can be with the facts that we know at the moment.
Okay. Just a quick thanks to Gordon, who's in Valencia. If you are doing the swap over to the TIE card, if you've already got your residency, try Valencia City if you're struggling with Alicante. If you're in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, if you're in the middle, not if you're down south.
No.
It depends which office is nearer to you, but yes, you can try that one as well.
Might be worth it. All right.
Yep.
Well, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. That'll be after any announcements, perhaps, on the 15th. Maybe get you in an extraordinary meeting.
If the announcements, so the no deal, maybe I'll come in. If there's a deal, obviously the markets will be fine. If there's a no deal, I can come in and just explain how it impacts people.